There is a factory in Shanghai that runs almost entirely without people, not partially automated, not mostly automated. 95% of the production process happens with no human hand touching it. 14,000 vehicles per worker per year. Let that number land for a second. The average American auto plant produces a fraction of that. Tesla's Shanghai facility is operating at a level of industrial efficiency that shouldn't exist yet. And almost nobody is talking about what that actually means. This is not a story about electric cars. This is not a story about stock prices or Elon Musk's Twitter account. This is a story about the possible end of the factory as civilization has known it for 200 years. And it is already happening right now inside buildings most people will never see. To understand where this is going, you have to understand where it started. Back in 2016, Musk used a phrase that most journalists treated as a joke. He called it the alien dreadnought. A factory so advanced, so fast, so mechanically dense that it would look like something built by a civilization that was not human. His exact words were, "When our factory looks like an alien dreadnought, it is ready for mass production." People laughed. Then 2018 arrived, and Tesla nearly destroyed itself trying to get there too fast. The Model 3 production crisis is one of the most studied industrial failures of the modern era. Tesla had automated everything. Conveyor systems so complex they jammed constantly. Robots so precise they could not handle the chaos of real-world variation. The target was 5,000 vehicles per week. The actual output was closer to 2,000. Musk sat in the factory on a sleeping bag and eventually said something that stunned the industry. Humans are underrated. Excessive automation was a mistake. That admission cost billions and nearly cost the company. But here is what nobody talks about when they tell that story. Tesla learned something in that failure that no other manufacturer on Earth could have learned, because no other manufacturer was crazy enough to try it at that scale in the first place. What they learned was exactly where the line is. Not the line between expensive and cheap or fast and slow. The line between what machines can do and what humans still have to do. And once you know where that line is, precisely, in every single stage of production, you can build a system designed to push that line further and further back. That is what Tesla has been doing ever since, and the results are starting to look like something from a different era of industrial history entirely. The unboxed manufacturing process, announced at Investor Day in 2023, is the clearest proof of how differently Tesla thinks about building things. Every traditional auto plant on Earth uses a linear assembly line. The car moves forward. Workers and robots add components in sequence. Henry Ford invented this. It has not fundamentally changed in 100 years. Tesla threw it out entirely. Instead of one line, they build 6 sub-assemblies simultaneously. Front structure, rear structure, left side, right side, underbody, closures. Each one completed in parallel, then joined at the end. The result is factories 40% smaller than competitors, with production costs reduced by 50%. That is not an incremental improvement. That is a different industrial language. And then there is gigacasting. Most vehicles are built from hundreds of stamped metal pieces welded together. A typical car underbody might involve over 400 individual components, each one manufactured, transported, inventoried, and assembled. Tesla replaced all of that with a single die-cast aluminum piece. One part. 370 fewer components. The machines that do this, the gigapresses, weigh 9,000 tons each. They are among the largest manufacturing machines ever built. When they fire, they inject molten aluminum into a mold under pressure equivalent to 6,000 atmospheres and produce a structural component in roughly 80 seconds. Competitors are only now beginning to try and replicate this. They are years behind. But here is where the story changes from impressive to genuinely unsettling. All of that, the unboxed process, the gigacasting, the AI-driven quality inspection, the autonomous guided vehicles moving materials across factory floors at all hours without a single operator, all of that is already built, already running, already producing hundreds of thousands of vehicles per year. What is being prepared right now is the next layer, and the next layer has a name: Optimus. Optimus is Tesla's humanoid robot program. If you have seen the early demos, you might have dismissed it. A robot that walks awkwardly. A robot that can sort colored blocks or fold a shirt. It looks like a university research project, not a manufacturing revolution. That reaction is understandable and almost certainly wrong, because the question is not whether Optimus can fold laundry. The question is what happens when a robot that costs under $20,000 can perform the physical tasks that currently require a human earning $82,000 per year, at every station on a factory floor that is already 95% automated. Tesla has stated its intention to build 10 million Optimus units per year by 2027 at Gigafactory Texas. 10 million. There are approximately 100 million manufacturing workers in the world. The math does not require explanation. As of early 2026, no Optimus unit has been sold externally. Production ramp will be, in Tesla's own words, agonizingly slow at first. But the infrastructure is being built right now. The production lines at Fremont are being reconfigured. The facilities in Texas are being prepared. The system is being assembled before anyone outside those walls fully understands what it is. Here is the question that actually matters, the one that industrial economists are beginning to ask very quietly. If Tesla solves final assembly automation, the last major bottleneck in fully autonomous manufacturing, what happens to the economic logic of global supply chains? For decades, the reason factories moved to China, to Mexico, to Vietnam was labor cost. Cheap human hands assembling components in enormous volumes. If those human hands are replaced by robots that cost the same everywhere and never need a salary, the entire geographic rationale for where things are built dissolves. A factory in Ohio becomes as cheap to operate as a factory in Shenzhen. The labor arbitrage that has shaped the global economy for 50 years simply stops existing. Tesla has already projected $2.5 billion in annual savings by replacing just 10% of its workforce with Optimus units. That is 10%, not 50, not 90, 10. The trajectory of that number, compounded over a decade of exponential robot deployment, is a figure that fundamentally reshapes what it means to manufacture anything. So here is the question for you. If machines can build machines, and the machines that build machines cost less than the humans they replace, and those machines can be deployed anywhere in the world with equal efficiency, what does that mean for every other industry that runs on physical labor? Because Tesla is not building cars. Tesla is building a proof of concept for something much larger. A model of industrial production where the factory itself is the product, replicable and deployable at civilization scale. Musk has said a fully autonomous factory is 5 years away. That puts it around 2030 or 2031. Credible robotics researchers say that is optimistic. The hardest problems in final assembly, adapting to variation, detecting misaligned components, handling the 1,000 small things that go wrong in physical production every single day, those are not solved yet. What is clear is that the gap between what is possible today and what Musk is describing has never been smaller, and the direction of travel has never been clearer. The alien dreadnought is not a factory. It is a model of production that does not require civilization to participate in its own manufacturing. Whether that is the beginning of something extraordinary or the beginning of something deeply destabilizing depends entirely on how the rest of the world responds to what is already being built. Right now, inside facilities that run almost entirely without people. If you want to understand what is coming before it arrives in your industry, your city, your economy, subscribe. Because the next chapter of this story is already being written on factory floors you will never be allowed to enter.